Avoidance has been my crutch for as long as I can remember. I used to live in this tiny apartment with my parents and my brother, and a lot of the times I would not be allowed to go outside, usually because there were some very suspicious people in my neighborhood. And so I would spend a lot of my time online or reading or playing a lot of Wizard 101 and Pirate 101, which are incredible games. I still have my accounts from those, by the way. They're really good games. I can get very deep into this, but they bring me joy. And I'd spend a lot of time just inside. Actually, it got to the point where at one point I was running in middle school a lot because we had those, things in PE where you would run up a hill as much as you could. And so every time I'd run up that hill, I'd always end up just on the floor, like straight up on the ground, absolutely out of breath, unable to focus, anything like that. And so they got me tested and they were like, oh, you have a severe vitamin D deficiency. So if there's any like quantifiable proof that I did not go outside, that is the proof. I mean, you can't get any more clear than that. I mean, but it's been a huge thing that I've done for a long time, where I've spent a lot of my time inside trying to imagine what it would be like if I was outside. I read a lot of fantasy, like Percy Jackson was so much fun when I was younger. Though I read the first book again, or at least I tried to get through the first couple of pages again now that I'm older, and oh, I can't do it. I can't. The writing is just not it. I'm sorry. It used to be so good. It was good for my like youth time frame, but I've gotten out of that time frame and I can't read that writing anymore. It doesn't work for me. But that's okay. It served its purpose into getting me way too invested into mythology. I mean, another book series that I read in like my middle school time frame was the Stormlight Archives. Oh my gosh, those are like 1,000 pages. They were great. I really need to reread them though, because I want to catch up on the new books, but man, I have to read 1,000 pages again. I'll do it eventually, eventually. But I think you get the picture. I think you get the image that I'm trying to say here. I would escape a lot when I would do things like homework too. Procrastination was, and sometimes is, the thing that I always resort to. Even when I know it's gonna hurt so much when I actually jump into the project, I still do it. I've gotten a lot better at it. I've gotten a lot better at being like, hey, maybe just nudge, do the thing a little, please. Don't do this to yourself. Oh my god. But, it happens. Even with things that I genuinely enjoy, like drawing or sometimes even sitting down to record videos, I always don't want to do it. I always revert to scrolling on my phone or, oh my gosh, you should not look at my screen time. Don't look at my screen time, please. It's it's not good. The only time it got cut down was when I was doing school because I physically couldn't open my phone for 8 hours a day. it's it's not great. And it's something that I'm trying to break, but it's a hard thing because I think I associate even things that I like doing as energy draining, even things that I genuinely enjoy, like being able to draw all my characters. It feels like, oh, I have to sit down, I have to open up my drawing software, I have to pick up a pen and then I have to use it. What about scrolling on Instagram for 5 hours straight? What about that, huh? That's obviously the best usage of my time. Uh, it's really not. It's really not. But I do it. It's. I talked about it with my therapist. That's right. We're in therapy, baby. And one of the things that came up was that I tend to find it very hard to accept my reality for what it is. I always look towards the future. And she pointed out that when I started talking about my future, I talked about saving up for retirement, and she's like, one of the first things you jumped to was saving to retirement, and I was like, yeah. I always tend to chase after future plans, which makes it very hard to accept current reality me that isn't always in the same situations that future me would like to be in. Which then makes it absolutely unbearable to accept that I'm here, right now, in this very moment. It's something that I'm working through. Accepting that this moment, right now, I'm here. And to be okay with that. Instead of like, you know, with a cool cottage house, living my dream life, having a cool garden where I can grow raspberries and garlic, and then I can eat those raspberries and garlic, and then I can go and travel the world with my friends, and I can draw a lot, and I don't have to worry about the financial instability of our economy. What I am saying is that we should, in fact, take billionaires down a peg. Can we please just tax them like 90% of their income? Please, please. That's all I'm asking for, please. Better our systems. And obviously, I want to make an impact, but I think I associate failure as just not having immediate success. I want success right here, right now, right at this very moment, just like I imagined it in my future. And if I don't have that, then it's very hard for me to accept the current reality, which makes it that much more important to change my mindset on that. And I am. I am actually very proud of the fact that I am a lot healthier than the me from a couple of months ago. I am very proud of the fact that I just am not as anxious as I usually am, and I can actually work towards addressing this very significant part of my mind that has kind of just taken over my life. And that, I'm able to rein it in and say, hey, let's actually do the thing that you want to do. Even if it sucks to get into the groove of it, once you get into the groove of it, there's basically no issue. It's the starting that's hard. And that always tends to be the case. But, if you don't start, then you're not going to get anywhere. And even though it's not something I'm supposed to do, I do sometimes compare myself to my peers who get to do a lot of things that I've wanted to do for so long. Like, some other peers are traveling all the way across the world, getting to learn so much in depth about different cultures, or just being able to go where they want to, or being able to get the things that they've wanted to. And, sometimes I escape through that, where I see what they have and want what they have. And sometimes I just know I'm doing it and it's not great. Comparing yourself to other people doesn't help, but it's something that, you have to cut out, and it takes a lot of time to do that. It's a process. That's what this whole thing tends to be. And escaping isn't bad, not necessarily. It's just that it can get bad, right? It can get to a point where you're using it all the time, even when you don't need to. Maybe it used to be a good coping mechanism for your own life, but then you've grown up and you have these abilities to make the choices that you want to instead of having to have adults make those choices for you. You get the chance, but it's hard to feel like you can actually get out of that mindset until you're able to, until you're slowly able to get out of escaping. Controlling that impulse it takes time. It's a lot of effort. I'm slowly accepting my reality at where it is, because when I'm able to accept it, I can change it. I can maneuver it towards those ideas that I've wanted for so long. I can write down all the warm, nice things that have happened. There's been a lot of nice sunny days. It's summer. I've talked to the neighbor about gardening, and I also got to pet their dog that looks like a little lion. With the way that their dog's fur is right now, it's so cute. And I got to hang out with friends and go bowling. There were so many days of like just straight rain. And I love like the sound of rain and being able to work in it. It's so nice. Getting able to play games in moderation. I definitely use games sometimes as an escape, which is why I try and rein it in just a little bit, especially games that are just showing me an alternate life that I could have had. I'm like, oh, who I could play this forever, but I limit it. I'm getting better at limiting it. And I'm not the hardcore 8 hours a day of gaming person as much as I used to be. I got to get my first candle. It's so cute. Well, I say cute. It is a giant candle, but it smells really nice. I'm actually drawing. You know this video right here, this little drawing. It's a study from well, it's not like a hardcore study. It's an art study-ish kind of taking in information, absorbing it, and then applying it to my drawing from Yashiro Nanako. Their art is so pretty. Oh, their portraits. I will eat her portraits, man. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. And I really wanted to study how the shapes are done there and apply it to some of my own drawings. I want to do a lot more. I got like a whole list, man. I also finished like an entire animation. It's so wild that I actually did that. Man. And you know, I'm actually sitting down and recording this video. Ah, it took me like a week to build up the strength to do this, man. It always takes me a while, but I might as well do it. You know what? Just do it. Is this just a just do it meme? It's just the, oh my god. But yeah, there's better things. Even if it's not the, you know, dream life that I've imagined for my future. It's a good present, you know? Being content with the now doesn't mean that you can't keep growing. So here's to growing just a little bit more, year after year. Bye.